Everyone. Myself, Professor Rakesh Patel from the Department of Civil Engineering, KLS VDIT Hyderabad. I welcome you to the lecture series on Engineering Geology. The subject code is 18CV36, third semester, module number 2, lecture number 13. Before starting with the today's topic, I would like to just brush up the things which we have discussed in previous class. In previous class, we have discussed sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks, their behavior, their formation, their usage, and how to utilize those rocks and their distribution in the earth crust. As we discussed in the previous class, these sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks are nothing but the secondary rock, means second formed rocks. These are not originally formed rock. These are derived from a pre-existing rock, that is igneous rock. Like that, in sedimentary rocks, there are some construction materials are there which are essential to use for the construction field, like sedimentary rock, laterite, limestone, shale. Then in metamorphic rock, we have a marble, gneiss, quartzite. This type of rocks are useful for the construction. Gneiss rock is nothing but it's a replacement of the granite rock. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the deformation of a rock. How does this original rock get deformed? By means of weathering process or by means of change in a temperature or a pressure. Whenever the change in a temperature happens, that leads to the different form of the structure. That is called as structural engineering or a structural geology. Means the behavior of the rocks are changing towards the forms a new type of structures. In structures, we have three types of structures. One is fold, fault, and joint. Out of these three structures, today we are going to discuss the faults. Faults are nothing but these are defined as the cracks or a fracture along which there has been a relative displacement of the rocks. The displacement of a beds along the fault line may be a meter or a several kilometers. The attitude of the fault is measured in the terms of strike and dip. Strike is nothing but a horizontal surface, a horizontal exposure surface, whereas dip is nothing but the movement of the block. Whatever the movement of the block will be there, that is to measure that we say it is a dip. So let's start with the today's class, that is fault. What all the things are there in today's class. So what is fault? It may be defined as a fracture surface in a rock cross which there is a relative motion parallel to the surface between the adjacent blocks of the rock. As you can see in this diagram, once upon a time, these two blocks were together. Due to change in a temperature or applying the more force to this particular rock layer, first what happened? It cracked. Development of a crack will be there. After the development of a crack, there will be a displacement. That displacement is called as fault. Whatever the line is there, the displacement line is there, that is called as fault plane. It is a planar surface along which relative displacement of the blocks takes place during the process of a faulting. This is called as faults. You can see this above surface line is called as strike. Whatever the displacement line, measuring of the displacement is there, that is called as dip. The walls. According to the geological terms, we have two types of walls are there. Behavior with respect to the behavior of the rocks, behavior of the displacement, hanging wall and foot wall. Hanging wall is nothing but it is the term used for the fault block which lies the upper surface above the fault plane. You can see here, whichever the block is moved down, or a movement will be there, that move down or move upward, whichever the block is movement is there, that is called as footwall, sorry, hanging wall. Then whatever the block which stays itself only, means stationary only, which will not be movement will be there, that is called as footwall. Footwall means it is a term used for the faulted block which lies on the under surface of the fault plane. You can see here, this is a footwall, this is the hanging wall. Hanging means which hangs upwards or downwards. So there are some different terminologies are there which are very essential to understand. According to the footwall and hanging wall, the behavior of the movement, we have three types of slips. Strike slips. Strike slips means it will be horizontally. According to the footwall, the hanging will move horizontally. That is called a slippage, or else you can say shear zone. The slip that occurs along the direction of the strike of a fault plane. Dip slip is nothing but the slip that occurs along the direction of the dip of the fault plane. Oblique, the slip that occurs both in the dip and strike direction, that is the combination of a strike dip direction. And remember, these faults are also called as natural disasters, which may lead for the earthquake zones also. Earthquakes may happen due to this particular movement. It depends upon the movement of the blocks. So how does this separation happens? The amount of apparent offset of the faulted surface measured in the specific direction. There are strike suppression and dip suppression and net suppression. With the suppression, we have two terminologies, that is heave and throw. Throw means which is vertically goes downwards. Heave means the horizontal components of a dip suppression measured perpendicular to the strike of the fault. You can see in this diagram. This is heap. Whatever, if the block is not moved down, how does this area will be there? Horizontally, the heave is called as heave. Vertically is called as throw. So what are the classification of the faults? The following factors commonly considered important: the apparent movement of the rock block along the fault plane, the direction of the slip, the relation of the fault attitude with the attitude of the displacement bed. These faults are also known as the fracture zones of a fractures between two blocks of a rock. Fault allows the block to move relative to each other. This movement may occur rapidly in the form of earthquake, or may occur slowly in the form of creep. The most faults produce relative displacement over the geological time. How does this fault happen or formed? Fault is these forms in the earth crust as brittle response to stress. Generally, the movement of the tectonic plates provides the stress, and the rock at the surface break in response to this. Fault has no particular length scale. What may cause these faults? The large faults within the earth crust result from the action of a plate tectonic force, with the largest forming the boundary between the plates, such as subduction zone or a transfer fault. Energy release associated with the rapid movement on active fault is the cause of most earthquakes. So, how many types of faults are there? There are majorly two types of faults are there. Worldwide, which we know that. One is normal fault, another is reverse fault. In normal fault, the hanging wall drops down, whereas in reverse fault, the hanging wall moves up. The apparent moment as a basis, normal faults in which hanging wall will be moved down. You can see in this diagram. Host means when the two normal faults, it's nothing but a series of the faults. You can see here. This is a series, one rock layer. If middle portion goes upwards, then this and this will be host. This but middle portion will be graben. You can see here. If the middle portion goes down, then it is called as graben. Then second type is reverse fault. In this type of fault, in which hanging wall appears to have moved up with respect to the foot wall and dips at the angle more than 45 degrees. So what does mean strike slip fault? It may occur it may be defined as fault in which the fracture blocks have been moved against each other, each in the horizontal direction along the strikes. There are two types of strike slip faults are there. One is right lateral strike slip, where the side opposite the observer moves to right, whereas left lateral strike fault is where the sides opposite to the observer moves to the left. A normal fault is fault in which the hanging wall moves down relative to the foot wall. For example, for the normal fault is the San Andreas in California. The opposite is the reverse fault in which hanging wall moves up instead of down. The normal fault results earth crust spreading apart. How do we identify these faults? To currently identifying a fault, you must first figure out which block is foot wall and which is hanging wall. Then you determine with a relative motion between the hanging wall and foot wall. Every fault tilted from the vertical has a hanging wall and foot wall. In this, there is another one term is there, that is vertical faults. These results of upon down movement along break in the rock. Actually, both block may move up or down, or may drop, or one might go up and one might go down. It is the end result of the movement that classified relationship between the blocks. These are also called as natural earthquakes. There are many different types of earthquakes like tectonic, volcanic, and explosive. The type of earthquake depends upon the regional where it occurs and the geological makeup that region. The most common and tectonic earthquake. There are major four type of plate movement as they are there. One is divergent, second one is convergent, then third one is transform faults. On the basis of the altitude, that is dip and strike. Strike fault is nothing but the fault that developed parallel to the strike of a strata. In each other words, the strike of the fault and that disrupted layers are essentially parallel. Dip faults that develop parallel to the dip of the strata. In other words, the fault strike is parallel to the dip of a layer distributed by the faults. Oblique faults whose strike makes an oblique angle with the strike of the rock in which it has caused the displacement. You can see here. As I said you that plate tectonic movements, there are ridges, trenches are happen due to this particular movement of a plate. So what are the engineering consideration of this fault? Faults may causes much shearing and crushing of rocks located in the fault zone, making the rock weak on the hand and porous, permeable on the other hand. So following general conclusion can be drawn. The faulted rocks will form weak foundation for the dams. The fault zones will provide easy a pathway for the water and causes leakage in left untreated in the dams. Once the fault zone becomes lubricated with the water, the probability of a further slipping become high. This may create critical condition within the foundation. Faulting products like gouge and breccia create additional problem to the engineers. So that's all from today's class. In today's class, we have discussed fault. How does this fault happen? What are the types of faults? And what is the causes of the faults? And what may be the result if you construct on this particular fault plane? Thank you very much. In next class, we will discuss faults. This is the next class will be continuation of this particular class. Thank you very much.